Hi, I'm Jay from SEK Sherborne. Today we're going to talk about PolySweep polymeric sand. We've got a hardscape project that's ready to be completed. All the pavers are in place. We've installed snap-edge paver restraints. Our surface is clean and dry. And that means it's time for PolySweep. Your reputation is on the line with every job you build, so don't compromise on your polymeric sand. PolySweep is just damn good sand. Let's talk about what makes PolySweep unique. Regular and extreme wide joint PolySweep are both superior strength, long-lasting polymeric sands made with a blend of ASTM C144 sand and the highest quality, clearest synthetic polymers. PolySweep is manufactured at our state-of-the-art facility, ensuring consistent quality and reliability. Our dedicated logistics team specializes in getting PolySweep into the marketplace as quickly and as inexpensively as possible. Once activated with water and allowed to dry, PolySweep will form a hardened joint that helps to prevent sand loss, inhibit weed growth, and deter insects. PolySweep has superior strength and long-term durability, plus it's RCS safe and guaranteed to be haze-free. Before we get started, this would be a good time to review the ICPI recommendation for best practices for hardscape installation. You will need to use a 3/4 inch modified stone base and sand for your setting bed. You can also use PolySweep with open-graded base systems. Remember to install PolySweep when the average ambient air temperature is above 35 degrees for a minimum of 48 hours after installation. The pavement surface should be dry, and there should be no rain forecasted for 12 hours after installation. Use PolySweep for pavers for joints up to 3/4 of an inch and extreme wide joint PolySweep for joints up to 4 inches. When you're ready to apply PolySweep, here's a tip: save your back. Stage the 50-pound bags evenly around your surface. Then cut open and distribute each bag low to the surface, forming an S pattern as you pour, within a small area. When you're ready to sweep, the right broom is key. Look for something with medium stiff bristles. These work best for removing the excess PolySweep from the surface. And a small hand broom works great for tight areas. If at any time in your project you end up with a pile of PolySweep, don't just muscle that down to the end of your surface. That's called bulldozing. When you bulldoze, you'll drop out the light particles first, then the medium weights, and by the time you get down to the end of your surface, you'll have nothing but sand at that point. Rather, pick up a shovel, take a scoop of that PolySweep, and bring it down to the other area, and just repeat that until you've eliminated that pile of sand. That will help ensure a nice uniform application of PolySweep. Make sure you don't overfill the joints. The sand should be no less than 1/8 inch below the surface. After you've swept PolySweep evenly throughout your project, make a pass with a vibratory roller or compactor with a neoprene pad to help with consolidation. For tight areas, a hand tamper or rubber hammer will do the trick. You may need to repeat these steps to make sure PolySweep is evenly distributed and the joints are filled to the correct height. This is the point in the process where the details matter. Once your joints are correctly filled, it's time to remove the excess from the surface using a leaf blower. Be sure to use a low idle and direct the blower at an angle to the surface to avoid removing PolySweep from the joints. It's important that the excess PolySweep is cleared before you mist your surface. Pay extra attention to remove PolySweep from the corners, bottom of the stairs, at the garage door, and other places where it can accumulate. Now it's time to water. The watering process is what activates PolySweep. Using a hose, gently mist the pavement, allowing water to absorb into the joint. After 5 minutes, repeat the misting process up to 3 or 4 times, gradually increasing the volume of water each time. Be sure to wait about 5 minutes between each misting. For optimal joint performance, the entire sand joint must be fully saturated. Any residual water caught in the texture of the pavement surface should be blown off with a leaf blower. To check to see if you've got the proper amount of moisture in PolySweep, you'll need a screwdriver, a putty knife, or even a pocket knife will work well. We're going to pick a joint, and we're just going to dig down in the joint to see how far water has penetrated. In this particular case, I'm down about that far. That's not enough. We want to go all the way to the bottom of our PolySweep joint. So what we'll do is just push this back into place and then apply more moisture. PolySweep takes 24 hours to cure depending on site conditions, temperature, and humidity. Once it's dried and cured, it's time to enjoy your beautiful hardscape. You can also use PolySweep on natural stone, porcelain tile, and concrete overlays.